This is the Photopea lesson for Pixel Stretch. First, open up the photo called Goaltender's Yell. What we're going to try to do is make this girl right here holding the L chair look like she's running really fast or streaking by. First thing to do is select the rectangular select tool. And this is kind of hard to do on your iPad. You're going to have to be pretty careful. Click and drag a selection area from the top of her hat to the bottom of her boot. We want this pretty thin, right about there. When you let go, you're going to have a rectangular selection area, and if you didn't like where you put it, you can redraw it. I'm getting part of her eye, her hat, and all the way down to her boot. Then I'm going to go to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste. When I do that, you're going to see a new layer has been created. This is a copy of that selection area that we just made. Then choose on the top of your toolbar the Move tool. It looks like an arrow with a little plus next to it. Now you won't be able to see what I'm doing on my keyboard, but look down at your iPad keyboard. You have arrows up, down, left, or right. Keep clicking the left arrow key over and over again, and as you do, you're going to see that selection area move to the left. Keep going until it touches just about where the letter E ends. We're just moving that layer over to the left. Next, you're going to go to Edit, Transform, Distort. Hold down your Shift key with your left hand on your keyboard of your iPad. So I'm holding down Shift, and I'm going to grab the edges of this box and stretch it. I'm going to stretch it this way to about halfway, right about where her nose is. Basically, that just took the pixels and it stretched them out of that layer. Then click the check mark. I want to erase now where she is. I want to put these pixels behind her, basically. To do that, I want to first make this first layer a little thinner, a more opaque layer. So over here on the right, click Opacity. We're going to turn it down to on about 30, 40 something, just so where we can still see the layer, but we see more of her. Then click the Eraser tool, and I'm going to erase right on top of that layer. I'm getting rid of the pixels on top of her face and body and her hair and the chair. And if this selection area is too big or too small, you see my little circle right here, look on your keyboard next to the letter P. There's an open bracket and a close bracket. The bracket closest to the letter P makes that selection area smaller. The bracket far away from the P makes it bigger. So get this to the right size. I'm erasing just that layer. I'm going to make it a little smaller when I get down here for the detail work. You could even change the size of this by going up here to size, but I like the shortcuts. If I've forgotten where I erased, I can go back to opacity and turn it up to 100. That looks all right. Once you're happy with your erase, make sure your opacity is all the way at 100. And now we have all these little streak looking areas going off to the side. Now, this isn't the best picture to do this with. You really want to have like a running person. This is one from a recent football game. And I just found somebody who was running, and I stretched those pixels. It looks a lot better than the goaltender's one. Here's one of a really cool like track star running by, and the pixels are stretched and it looks like she's running. But this is to give you a general idea of how to do that. Once you have made these pixels stretch outward to the left, File, export as a JPEG, then click Save, and go ahead and export your download to the lesson for today.